Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the AfterBuzz podcast. My name is Nico at Jimmy and you're a host of the AfterBuzz, and I've got Buzz Adams, the man it's named after.
Good day.
Hey buddy, it is Tuesday.
I wanted to do a Doug and Bob McKenzie. Good day.
Good, that has to be more Canadian.
Good day.
Good day.
Good day. No, that.
Good day.
No, that is not Canadian.
Good day, mate.
That's Australian. That's, as far away from Canada as we're.
I can't do it.
I
think I got a sorry. I got a real.
I apologize to any Canadian listeners.
Good
for what
day.
Nico is doing.
Good day.
No, listen to me. Good day. Good day, eh?
Good day, eh? Good day, eh?
Let's get some back bacon and some brews.
Let's get some back bacon and some brews.
I'm going to start charging for dialect class.
I think people would listen to just that.
Yeah?
Now Jamaican.
No. Pass.
All right, so I am watching a couple of things right now. I'm watching because House of the Dragon season 2 is out, and it is even better than ever.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon is just badass. Just dragons being in the mix like all the time is awesome.
Yeah, because they really held off during Game of Thrones. Like, we didn't get to see the full-grown dragons until, late third season?
Yes, but see, that's not the only thing. Is one side has dragons, and that's Daenerys in Game of Thrones. In this one, both sides have dragons, so you see dragon on dragon action.
Yeah, I heard the preview, and it was like, dragons against dragons will be the downfall of us all. Or something like that.
They're not wrong. Mm-hmm. And the politics is even kind of messier in House of the Dragon.
I like how everybody that is Targaryen has albino hair, regardless of what color their skin is. It's like, it's a black guy with albino hair.
It's the fire of old Valyria. It's the fire of the dragons, the sign of the magic. I
feel like I had a bad breakup with Game of Thrones at the end of that last season.
Micah, yeah. Why let one season?
Because it was the last season.
Yeah, but who cares? You were enjoying something up. One season shouldn't ruin the stuff you already enjoyed.
Okay.
Right?
Bran is going to be on the Iron Throne. That seems like they put all the names in a hat and just drew one out.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, I knew that they were working without source material.
Right.
So House of the Dragon is full source material. Like it's there's a book already been written about it. So
maybe I'll give it a look.
It's a much tighter. No, you're not.
I got other irons in the fire for sure.
You should. What are you watching?
The Boys. Amazon Prime. The Acolyte on Disney Plus. The last 2 episodes I thought have been kind of lackluster, but a Sith Lord showed up at the very end. Spoiler.
Acolyte spoiler.
Yeah.
That's not that much of a spoiler.
We're recording this on Tuesday, so there's a new episode at 7 o'clock tonight.
Oh, it's at 7? I can't go watch it right now?
You got to wait till 7.
I don't know if I like that or not.
Seems like an unnecessary tease, doesn't it? If they have the date that it comes out, it should come out at midnight on that date.
Well, I think they're also trying to replicate what waiting for primetime television used to be like that.
It's almost 7 o'clock. Get the popcorn. Gather the family around. We're going to watch some Acolyte.
Which actually reminds me of this other thing that I'm watching. It's the animated. It's called My Adventures with Superman, and it's a new animated series about Superman, but set in a different universe. So this one's set on Earth 3, I think, or 13. Anyways, so that allows them to do some stuff that's pretty much the same story, but with some weird changes. Jimmy Olsen, black.
It's about time. It's about time they do some representation in Superman comics.
You know what?
That's been a very, very whitewashed universe.
You're not being facetious, right? You're actually... you kind of are being facetious?
Maybe, but I mean, I'm not a DC fan.
I know.
But I go see the Superman movies.
Okay, well, I still expect you to be a part of a conversation about DC. Lois Lane is Korean.
Did they change her name to Lois Ling?
No, still Lane.
Okay.
I think it works better.
Oh, sure.
I think Jimmy Olsen in this way better. Black.
Do you know that they used to show Superman reruns from the 50s when I was in grade school?
I think they were still showing them.
I would watch all those black and white Superman. Remember, and George Reeve would show up and Great Caesar's ghost, Mr. White.
I got VHS tapes of those.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So when I was young, my parents got those were the cheap ones. It would be these old Superman serials that would be all as a compilation, and the VHS would be the limited edition, Golden Age.
They get in your wallet one way or another, right?
So I think I like it better. I like the way that they're doing. They just are retelling the Superman story, and the way they're retelling it, way more interesting.
Now, is Superman a minority?
No, still white.
Illegal alien, though.
Yes, and it starts him off in high school or college. I don't know. He just gets to Metropolis, and he's an intern at the Daily Planet, along with Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane.
All right. He's still Clark Kent?
Still Clark Kent, and Lois Lane figures out his identity almost episode 1 or episode 2.
When Clark accidentally takes off his glasses to clean them for a minute, she's like, Superman.
Yeah.
What was the canonical explanation for why people don't just recognize Superman's face as Clark Kent?
I think they give as part of his powers something about making
I have
the
super
gaze.
confusion powers.
Something about when you gaze at him a certain way, he can make you ignore him.
Speaking of the gays, happy Pride Month to everybody.
Yeah, happy Pride Month to Buzz.
Sure. Same back at you.
I don't know. I kind of just like the way that they're telling Superman's story, telling Lois Lane knows it up front. So that way the storylines don't center around, is she going to find out or not? No, she already knows up front. And she kind of helps.
If they ever needed to, this is the problem with Superman. Whatever power he needs, he had it all along. They just read, if he needed her to forget, he's like, fortunately, I have super hypnotism powers. Woo.
Yeah, he's Superman.
I got a hot take for you on Superman, the character.
I kind of like this also because he's learning about his powers. So all of a sudden, his super hearing is kicking in one episode, and it's driving him crazy. He can hear everything. Everybody's cries and helps and life and this and that.
I think maybe the best Superman movie that I've ever seen is not actually a Superman movie. It's a horror movie called Brightburn. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, it's exactly the director model. It's a complete Superman.
I'd call it a pastiche.
Sure. Yeah. It is a pastiche.
But it's really interesting. It's like if somebody had superpowers and they were a kid, what if they were a little asshole? It's kind of the Boys before the Boys was turned into a series. The comic might have been out, I guess. But Brightburn from about 2012, 2013, worth looking up. Best Superman movie I've ever seen. I like and they should do this as a Superman movie. If Superman's ship landed in Russia instead of Red Sun.
Yeah, Red Sun. Yeah. They haven't done that movie though.
Okay.
You just know that because
I've seen him at Barnes and Noble, in the graphic novel section.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
Well, it's a newer storyline from the past 20 years. But
now, what did who did I know it's Marvel, but who did DC? Which character did DC rip that storyline off from?
Well, DC came before Marvel, so you mean which DC story did Marvel rip off?
Okay, so the Marvels had Marvel Zombies about 15 or 20 years ago.
So DC
did DC East, and it's the superheroes turn into zombies.
No, that's not.
Yes, it is. I own it. I'll bring it in
That's
tomorrow.
An Elsewhere story or something like that because...
That's DC.
It doesn't matter if it's an Elsewhere story. There's one DC story where Batman is actually bitten by a bat or vampire and turns into a vampire. That's not canon.
Okay.
It doesn't mean it's canon. The only thing that DC gets knocked on for the zombie thing is when they had the black rings. The black...
Green Lantern
The Black
rings?
Lanterns. Not well, it wouldn't be Black Green Lantern.
Okay. All right.
Anyways,
is there anything other than what you're watching you want to talk about?
Yeah. It's going to be the debate this week, presidential debate.
Everybody's holding their breath, I think. I feel like the entire country is kind of hostage to this process. It keeps moving along, even though plenty of people have their reservations about the whole thing. I heard somebody say something interesting yesterday. Give me your thoughts on this.
You did?
Somebody said the election's really going to come down to people who don't really like either candidate. You know, those people who don't have a great feeling about Trump, but also not about Biden. So it's kind of going to be, you know, how they present themselves Thursday night in that debate is going to win over these people that will make a difference in the election. You know, if somebody gets up there and figuratively, you know, shits their pants, it's going to have an impact. It's going to be impactful. And if everybody, I think, and another thing, I think people have forgotten all the crazy stuff that Trump says because he's been kind of relegated to his Truth Social and his rallies. You know, just if he goes off on electric boats and sharks and lathering my hair. Did you hear that one?
Yeah.
He was talking about lathering his hair and there's not enough water pressure. He's been going on that since 2016, man. But I think if he does a lot of that, people are going to say, there's a chance they're going to say, oh, yeah, this guy. I remember this. Maybe I don't want to do this again.
So I'm interested to see what they're going to talk about. I have a feeling they're both going to bring up their dirty laundry. Trump's going to bring up Hunter Biden.
You think?
Yeah, why wouldn't he?
Because he's a convicted felon. I mean,
well, of course. Well, that's what Biden's going to bring up.
Yeah. Yeah, it might go that way. Should Biden try and explain why his administration has been good for the environment, or is that just not going to work with the viewing audience?
Yeah, I wouldn't even talk about the environment.
Not the environment. I'm sorry. The economy. My bad. Not the environment. The economy.
You've had some weird old man slips a lot lately.
Well, I got a lot on my mind.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You have a lot on your mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of the one that you did earlier today.
Yeah. Just focus on what we're doing, though. Do you think Biden should tout his economic achievements?
Economic. Yes, absolutely. I think that's, if anything, that will be his probably number one play. You're going to hear him talk about
15 million jobs created.
Yeah, you're going to hear him talk about all of that stuff.
No recession so far, and if the recession does happen, they're predicting what's called a soft landing. Long story short, that's the best outcome.
Well, what article did you read recently? Because you knew nothing about any of this like a week ago.
I don't know. I consume a lot of stuff, man.
No, every time the economy comes up in news, you just like
I think there are a lot
of
people out there who feel like, well, I'm paying more at the grocery store, so that must mean the economy's bad for me anyway.
Yeah, I think you're going to see people based off of the feel. Well, because inflation, because people's apparently wages are going up, but people aren't feeling that because inflation is up. So,
what do you think about this tactic? Biden brings up some of Trump's recent rants. You know, what's this about sharks? Why are you Hannibal Lecter? Why do you talk about Hannibal Lecter so much?
That would be
except most people are not going to know that. You have to be consuming political media every day to be up, and you have to also watch some of those rallies, which they don't. The Trump rallies, they don't carry them anymore on MSNBC
or very little if they do.
CNN, and I don't even think they might cover them a little bit on Fox, but they cut away. There was the thing, I think it was
yesterday. Did you see that with
he's talking about, I like to get a good lather in my hair going on, and I don't have enough water, and they just cut away. Well, that's president. It's almost like they cut away because
we gave him the courtesy.
What the
5
fuck
minutes.
is he talking about?
Yeah, I'm going to be really. So here's the thing: they're not going to get to take notes with them. So what you're saying right now about him bringing up this or that, I don't think they're going to have the brain power or CPU power to memorize or practice or defend against all of those different things without notes. You know, I think they're going to have to drill down on, here are your main talking points. Here are the main things he'll probably say against you. You don't get into the weeds. Don't start rambling off into some anecdotes.
Now, I know who you favor as far as your candidate. I'm aware of that.
It's the same one that you have.
Yes, that's true. Who is more likely to have a gaffe?
I think it's 50-50.
Here's the thing. Trump's gaffes, everybody laughs him off.
Yeah.
Biden forgets somebody's name, and it's, he's senile, and he can't do that. And then Trump does something similar, and it's just like,
Well, because Trump has that stand-up comedian.
Right, he's got the time,
power of where you can laugh off mistakes because people don't have high expectations of you to begin with. So it's and when you can laugh them off like that, I think it's easier to get away with.
A lot of people have been saying that they think both of these candidates are going to be taking some kind of drug or some kind of pharmaceutical to help them be more sharp.
So Ronnie Jackson, did you see this?
Mm-hmm. The former White House doctor.
Former White House doctor.
Congressman from Texas.
Who was accused of
just passing out Ambien and
what was it? Well, Ambien and Adderall. Saying
on the White House plane, or to the White House staff, just come and get them. If you want Adderall, I'll give you Adderall. If you want a Lunesta, I'll give you a Lunesta.
Also, he was disciplined for drinking on the job. Did you know that?
Okay, all right, but you were about to make a point about
just saw
Ronnie
that today.
Jackson.
Well, he sent a signed letter to the White House yesterday, demanding that President Biden take a drug test to make sure he's not on any performance-enhancing drugs before the debate. It's this line that Trump supporters and Trump himself are promoting just in case Trump loses real bad. They're going to say
he was on meth or coke or just whatever.
And so Ronnie Jackson has the gall, sir, to send a letter to the White House demanding. And then he brings up his cognitive difficulties, and he brings up
and ignores anything that's negative about Trump. He's the guy.
Oh, yeah. He says Trump is like,
I know the White House position is not supposed to be biased, but given what Ronnie Jackson has done since leaving that position, and his politics since then, it's pretty clear that he was a big Trump fan.
I don't think any objective person or sane person could look at Ronnie Jackson's actions and be like, well, no, he's probably doing it out of normal concern for performance-enhancing drugs.
He was the physician for Obama.
I just mentioned, though, I just learned today that he has this long personnel record where he was disciplined for drinking on the job, or might have been fired for this reason, drinking on the job, and verbally abusive towards staff.
Okay, I don't know what bearing that has on the debate, though.
No, it has nothing to do with the debate. It just has to do with his credibility. We were talking about the PEDs, or performance-enhancing drugs. He's trying to. What I'm saying is he has no credibility. Even though you're saying, he's this former doctor and he's a congressman now.
That's what I thought at the time. I mean, he's really kind of revealed himself since leaving, the role as the White House doctor.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And now that this other stuff I didn't even know about him is apparently coming out. Anyway, so it's going to be an interesting Thursday, I think it is. Is it Thursday? It's the 27th.
You want to come up with some kind of debate bingo? Or
yeah, we should do a debate bingo.
Hunter. How many times does Trump say Hunter? How many times does Biden say Hunter? Who says it more? What's the over-under? For total mentions of Hunter.
Does Trump bring up the last election and say he won it? Do you think he brings up the big lie?
No.
I think he might.
I think
especially if Biden and I really hope Biden's this smart that he would be able to provoke things like in his statement. He goes, "We won the last election by more votes than ever before." And then
that's a lie. And by the way, his microphone would be off. So it's
no.
Yeah, they're going to turn down the microphones. He'll yell, right?
Yeah, but you can't hear. See, I've known that from.
They need to put him in like a cone of solitude.
No, not even. That's what I learned from stand-up. Again, is the person with the microphone really controls the room, and when you have two people with microphones on, nobody controls the room.
So the moderators are going to be Anderson Cooper and Dana Bash.
No, it's going to be Jake Tapper, and Dana Bash.
Oh, it's not Anderson?
It's not.
Okay. I think a lot of the pressure will be on them and what questions they ask and how they phrase the questions and how they control Hurricane Donald.
Just yesterday on CNN, a Trump spokesperson was being interviewed, and she started to name call and call out Jake Tapper and Dana Bash on CNN. And the CNN host, I don't have time to look it up right now, but she cuts her off and says, "Do not speak ill about my colleagues." And then she cuts the interview. Did you see that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, I think that was this week or this weekend, this past week. People on the right are already maligning the hosts, the moderators. And that's another thing they're saying about Donald Trump. If he loses, it's because Dana Bash was too hard on him. If they were biased. What do you think about that?
It's concerning when you're already making excuses for your candidate's performance at the debate. I mean, you're trying to manage expectations there, but I feel like there's some of it.
Nobody dings him for this, though. He did the same thing before the 2016 election. He already brought up how it would be.
The only way I lose is if the whole
stolen.
thing's rigged.
Right.
I think if he repeats the rigged election, that's going to lose him those undecideds.
Okay.
That's interesting. I think that's the undecideds don't believe the 2020 election lie. And those are really, I think most people, 90% at least, know who they're going to vote for in November.
Oh, probably.
It's that 10% or maybe it's even 5% or less is still swayable one way or the other.
I was going to say, I actually think it's 99% of people already know, or 99.9, but they're just not talking about it all the time. There's a super hyper talkative group of people that are into politics and they're always talking about it, and the rest of us, not us, the rest of the people are just waiting for election day. They're like, I have it in my head, I'm just literally waiting for the day to put it down. That's why I don't think polling works anymore.
I was going to say we do have polling, but I don't know if that's even a reliable.
I don't think it works anymore. You
could be right.
Ever since 2016, it's like the world has been turned upside down. Yeah. If you got a degree in political science pre-2016, it would be a respectable degree. It would be like, oh, well, this person went to school. He knows about politics. He's probably going to work in government and help, and very reliable in his knowledge of politics. And now a political science degree, worthless. There is no science to it anymore. Mm-hmm. The science doesn't even make sense. All right. Anyways, we'll be watching out for that on Thursday.
Did you have any other for the bingo card?
We need to come up with something.
We could easily come up with so many. Does
Biden
say the name Stormy Daniels?
Say Stormy Daniels or rapist?
God.
Imagine he just calls him a rapist. He was convicted of that. And the judge
was the E. Jean Carroll case.
The judge even said it's tantamount to rape. He's like, this just isn't a criminal.
He's liable for the sexual assault.
He called it rape in the decision. The judge did, Ingrid. And you look at me like he didn't. He did call it rape in that. He just said this is a civil trial, not a criminal one. And rape is a criminal charge.
I guess I've always wanted to know, how could anybody be so sure that that's what happened when it was just the two of them, Trump and E. Jean Carroll? Nobody else witnessed it?
Because he already talked about grabbing women by the pussy.
Yeah, well, right.
So once you have like a collection of facts and
whatever somebody else has said that they said doesn't have any bearing on the current case, which would have been the civil case against.
Oh, if you're talking about in jury, as a juror, yeah, as just a person that has access to foreknowledge and patterns of behavior, patterns of facts, it fits.
I mean,
what, are you telling me you don't think Donald Trump has sexually assaulted anybody or would have?
I don't have any proof of it. I mean,
other than the conviction, you have proof. You have a conviction,
but I don't fully understand what their proof was.
Well, they had.
I wasn't in the courtroom.
They had witnesses. They
didn't have eyewitnesses. They had witnesses who said that
concurrently, E. Jean Carroll told them
about Donald Trump
in 1992 or whenever it happened. It's not like she made it up now and is saying, "Hey, say those things that I told you about."
People testified that she had told them that this incident occurred.
Yeah, I don't see why somebody would do that at that time. And
you know me, I'm not making excuses for Donald Trump.
I just know that you've been somebody who's been like in a deposition before, and on that side of things, I know that you're more like, well, let's see, I don't know, maybe it's like you need the proof. I get that.
Why does my voice crack when I'm talking?
Because it sounds like
I need the proof.
It sounds like you're.
Yeah, proof is a pretty important.
It sounds like you're
thing to have in a
it
criminal
sounds like you're
or
just
civil
hedging
case.
or trying to.
I couldn't say with certitude that Donald Trump
committed a jury of his peers have decided that he did, based on the testimony of concurrent witnesses, and they believed her.
Okay.
And those witnesses. So apparently, he did. He has been convicted of it.
Biden crime family.
Oh, that's going to come up for sure.
Yes or no? Trump says that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I would guarantee that almost.
Maybe we do it like this. We pick out. I don't know how we'd make it, because there are definitely some things they're gonna talk about, but we have to pick things kind of out on the fringe, like Biden using the word rapist to describe former President Trump. I see that as a long shot. You get 20 points if that one happens.
Yeah, I think he's going to do that.
At least mentions Hunter Biden, you get 5 points.
At least
for that.
convicted felon. I bet he's going to use the phrase convicted felon.
Oh, you only get 1 point. Of course he is. You only get 1 point for that.
Joe Biden wanders off.
Just like forgets where he's supposed to be and walks off the stage early or late or whatever. 50 points. 40 points.
One of them falls asleep mid debate.
Don't they have to be standing up?
Do they?
Yeah, I think that was one of the conditions, is no chairs. They have to stand for the duration of the debate, which sounds, for most people, I can stand in one place for an hour and a half, but for two guys who are both around 80 years old, that seems like it might be a test of endurance.
Huh. I just got a message from Paul Sakala.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talked about him on the air today?
I don't
or
think
yesterday? You talked about him doing the giant hamburger challenge.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
But he sent me something saying, Nico, you the man. I'm doing stories in Ruidoso. Great to see you will be performing there. And it's the poster for our show that was canceled.
It was canceled because there was wildfire going on.
But
have you heard from Jamie?
And the thing is, Jamie, the owner of the venue where I was going to perform at,
what's it called?
It's called Downshift Brewery.
Downshift, right.
And it's so big. They have 2 different locations that are. Have you seen them?
Mm-hmm.
They're nice locations. He's like a big part of the coordination effort or helping feed the volunteers. Jamie is. So I know
they're serving up meals and beverages.
And using the brewery as a command center. And
great.
I know he's very busy, so I haven't even wanted to.
Right. They've got bigger things to talk about.
Much bigger things to think about.
Well, get Sakala to call in tomorrow.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, ask him just kind of what he saw when he was up there covering the story in Ruidoso. Like, is half the town burned down? I know there's definitely been some damage.
Hey, brother, would you mind calling in to the Buzz Adams Morning Show tomorrow to talk about what you've seen or are seeing in Ruidoso right now? Question mark.
And there it goes.
There it goes. All right. That's going to do it for today's episode of the After Buzz. Call in. Let us know what your thoughts are going to be about this debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Maybe you have some suggestions for our bingo card.
Yeah. So I think what you do is you have a list of things and you get to pick 5 of them, and some of them are high value. Like if Biden calls Trump a rapist, you get a lot of points for it. But if Trump mentions Hunter Biden, you don't get as many points.
Yeah, something that's easy versus. Yeah, okay. All right, let's do it.
Deal.
Talk to y'all next time.